Hello, hello, hello. My name's Abhi, and welcome to episode 6 of the Craft Dinner podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Rizzy, who's down here, Akuriea, who's over here, and Cael, who's in the corner down here. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing?
So good, so good.
I'm so tired. Yeah.
What
Look at that.
Cael has his. Was that a cross?
Cael? What is that?
That's a face. That is.
Well, I can tell it's a face. I'm trying to figure out what it is.
I think it's
I forgot a defining feature.
Is it SpongeBob?
No, that's bread with a Hitler mustache.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
I
you
don't know if
call
I can
me
say
the
that.
art, you call me the art student.
that's
There we go.
It's SpongeBob.
Patrick Star,
It's SpongeBob.
the Instagram influencer, not the.
SpongeBob's an Instagram influencer now. When did that happen?
You know that Patrick Star is a real Instagram influencer.
What the
Really?
hell did I miss?
It's a drag queen.
He sells
Oh,
rocks that,
no, I know
that,
who you're talking about.
that give out vibrations.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Okay, we're moving on. So last episode, we talked about a little bit about nostalgia. We kind of went from before kindergarten to around like the end of elementary, beginning of junior high is I believe where we ended it. So we're just gonna continue that. We're gonna talk about our experiences from junior high. So for us, that's grades 7, 8, and 9, and onwards to what it's like right now in uni. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a continuation from last episode. So we might bring in some of the stuff we talked about last episode. If you haven't seen last episode, feel free to check it out. It's a great episode, highly suggested. Yeah. So Rizzy, junior high. What was junior high? What was junior high for you? What was
It was
it like?
shit.
Oh.
That's it. I'm not gonna
That's
say
it.
anymore.
That's it. You're done.
I'm kidding. So it was grade 6 when I moved to the Yukon, Whitehorse, Yukon. For those of you who don't know, I originally lived in Edmonton. I was born and raised there. And in 2013, I moved to Whitehorse, Yukon. I came here. There is no junior high. It is high school, which is grade 8 to 12.
Cool.
So when I went into high school, it was grade 8 to 10. Elementary is grades 1 to 7. So y'all had that junior high phase. I had that elementary transition to high school for a bit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I was a pretty cringy kid. I was hated by a lot of people. I was
So
that
nothing's
uptight
changed?
kid.
Was.
Yeah. I've gathered a lot of enemies. Mostly porn
Here's
stars.
the list.
Mostly because I'm like, yeah. I have an entire list. Shout out Jay Schlatt. Right now, we're fighting for who's got the best beard. Obviously, it's Call Me Carson. So right now, it's a tough time. You know, when I went to school with Call Me Carson in high school, and when
It sounds like
When
one
I
of those
transitioned.
books that's like noun, adjective, verb.
Oh, with
It's-
like what?
oh, really?
With your name. Your name.
but like,
Rizwan,
okay.
This is
Rizwan lives in a
beginning.
fan fiction.
This is beginning to sound a lot like Akira's dream.
It is, interestingly enough. And if y'all want to hear about that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the post notification button. That's right. I can do a fucking ad.
Oh, speaking of ads, do you have Twitch Prime?
You
so.
no.
There we go.
Subscribe to
Stop.
Abby's Twitch. Where are you, Akira?
I'm above
Uh,
you. Okay,
Oh.
now listen. Twitch Prime is this
Listening.
free subscription to any streamer of your choice on the Twitch.tv app website. It's free money. And Jeff Bezos really said, you know what? Here you go.
God,
No,
this
he
bit is
And
only-
you
being,
can use it to your
I'm pretty
favorite
sure he owns
streamer,
both of them.
Abby.
this bit is being overused, and I could tell.
Yeah,
We're beating
we
a
should-
dead
we should have
horse,
a
right?
counter. We should
Yeah, I
have a
know,
counter every episode.
but that's what makes it so funny.
I think this.
It's hard. I try to think of new stuff to say in it every time. And
You always revert back. You always revert back to Twitch Prime. That's the funny part.
It's
It's no
like-
matter where we go, somehow, some way, someone
It-
brings it up.
it's my only job here, Abby. That's my contribution
Free
to this podcast is
publicity.
literally just, Akira, it's time for Twitch Prime.
Okay,
Oh, we're
sorry.
talking about nostalgia. So Twitch Prime, right? That was happened a couple days ago, right? We could.
I remember
do
that
Twitch
time.
Prime. Yeah.
I remember that time I used Twitch Prime.
Yeah.
What was that,
Got a
like
couple
2 weeks?
subscribers on Abhi's link in the description, guys. Remember that?
Stop. Okay, we're gonna jump back to Rizzy. You were saying your experiences. So I've never heard of elementary being 1 to 7 and high school being 8 to 10 because I know what BC does it. I want to say, is it 1 to 9
Well,
all in one?
I think so.
because-
I think it's pretty high up there,
well,
and then
I
it's
went
10 to
to,
12.
it's kind of different because I was in BC for a little bit of junior high, and the junior high that I went to specifically was like it is here in like in Alberta. It was 7, 8, 9, and then you go to high school.
Yeah,
But I've
10,
also
11.
heard from other people that I know who were in BC that theirs was 1 to 5 was elementary, and then 6 to 8 or 6 to 9 was junior high. So I think it's
Okay.
all over the place,
Nice.
really.
So
Um,
isn't that what they do in the States? Isn't the States? Because I know the States is 9 to 12 is high school,
Mhm.
and I know they have like middle school, like they don't go from elementary to high school. So I feel like that's what they do in the States. Is they go
Yeah.
6 to 8 as like the junior high or middle school, and they have 9 to 10 as 9 to 12 as high school.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about
well,
something. If
yeah.
you go above like a certain grade, at what grade level do you stop doing music classes?
Oh, that's like
Well,
as an
for
elective or mandatory?
Mandatory. So like
At the end of
to what
elementary.
grade are you forced to I'm not a clarinet.
For me
A
it was
recorder upon you.
yeah. For me it was grade 6. Grade 6 was the last mandatory year.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
you
yeah,
end
I
up
thought it
elementary.
was as well. So
Yeah,
what would
the
it
way
be
the-
if you
I think because since junior high is when you start like choosing your courses.
Yeah.
So I'd assume
Because I know
that
the
would be
way
it.
that my junior high did it is for grade 7, you were forced to take either arts, drama, or band as like an option. Like they forced you to take one of the 3. And it was only like grade 7, like grade 8 and grade 9
Oh,
you
yeah.
could choose. But
it works like that because I think they were full year courses and then like foods and like construction or whatever
something
you
like-
had
yeah,
were like
yeah.
half year.
food for us, it was foods, construction, and outdoor ed were what they call trimester courses. So you would be forced to take each one, but it would be in a span of 3 months. So you'd have 3 and then 3 and then, or sorry, 4 and then 4, or however long it was. And so I chose band over arts and drama because 1, I'm not good at art, and 2, I'm not good at drama. So I was like, okay, I'll take band. So that was for me. That was the last year I did like music, but it wasn't like a forced music thing.
Would you
You
play?
could clarinet.
Ooh,
Loser.
We can start a
clarinet
band.
boy.
I play guitar.
I play trombone.
I played
Cael,
baritone.
what do you play? We can all play. That's a hell of a combination. That's a
So
hell of a
we got the
combination.
clarinet, the guitar, the baritone,
Yeah.
and then a trombone.
Our vocals can be KSI. Yeah. Absolutely. What if I scream really loudly in a really ear-piercing voice? Yes.
Yes.
I was going to say actually, if I had to choose from music, drama, and band, I'd put a gun to my own head.
From,
That's-
Music, drama, and band.
Those
from
are some-
music, drama, and band.
Yeah, those are terrible
yeah,
options.
Music and band. Ooh, really, really big toss up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's truly inspiring what we've kind of done today and how it's truly come across.
Oh no.
Just
Let's not go
realized what
there.
you said.
No, he knew
No.
exactly what he was saying. He
knew
was
it.
laughing because I was laughing.
Yes.
See, I
thank
know
you.
this guy. I know this guy.
I feel like Abby's like one of the few people who understands my sarcasm.
Oh, I do.
Which I appreciated. Thank you, Abby. I've gotten that
You're
so many
welcome.
times where people don't recognize my sarcasm and I've gotten in trouble for it.
Yeah,
Or they like don't understand, they're just fucking confused. And
but
they're
it's
like,
great
are you
because
serious?
like it's great because like I know there have been times where Rizzy's made like a sarcastic joke and like I've been there, and so I laughed at it because I knew it was sarcasm, but other
I
people
always
didn't
assume
realize it
it's
was
sarcasm.
sarcasm.
I
So-
always assume it's sarcasm, and then just cringe at the people around us who don't realize it's sarcasm.
Oh yeah, no, because it was funny because like Rizzy and I were both laughing, and these other people are just staring at us like, "That like, what is wrong with you? You can't laugh at that." I'm like, "Bro, it was
It's like it
bro, it was
was
sarcastic."
like when you're with that one international pop release lady. She's like, "Who's from India?"
Oh,
here?" And
oh,
Rizzy's like, "Yeah,
yeah.
I am."
Oh my god.
And then you're like, actually, I am. He is not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because like it was the time because she was explaining like how like certain parts of India are like nice to. It's like an on and off thing. Like some parts you really want to go back and visit, and some parts you're kind of like meh. And I'm like, yeah, I was like nodding my head, like can confirm, and she like clocked me nodding my head. And she's like, yeah, you can tell. I was like, yeah, I know. And then everyone's just like, everyone just start bursting out laughing. I'm like, what? It's like, yes, I can say that
Haha,
this is
he
true.
understands Hindu. That's so funny. My
Yeah.
white ass can't understand fucking English, man.
She asked, right? She asked. I think it was either she asked or like whoever was sitting beside me
She
asked if I
asked,
could.
yeah.
Yeah, it was she asked if I could understand Hindi, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't because I didn't grow up learning it, right?
Yeah.
With speaking
We
English,
will-
I still can't understand.
Me included. But we will get back to that hellhole later. So kind of bringing it back to grades 1 to 7. Cael, you were kind of mentioning how music kind of stopped. For me, grade 7 was when it stopped because grade 8 I didn't take the band elective, which I could have, but I didn't. And when I jumped into grade 8, it was just like a really big jump into high school. Like, you know how in Skona we kind of view grade 10s as like, oh man, they're so annoying, right? Because they're fresh kids, right? They're really young,
Take up
really
the
annoying.
hallway.
Exactly.
They don't know
Now
how to
imagine-
walk in the hallway. That was the most annoying thing.
My
Yeah.
God.
Especially going from like grade 10 to grade 12.
Yeah.
It's the shift in mindset, right?
It's
like,
the routes. You know the routes and what to take when you're
Exactly.
going and what to avoid.
because like as a grade 12, right? It's pretty well known that you walk on the right side of the hallway, regardless of what
Mhm.
hallway it is, right? You
Mhm.
walk on the right side. But like as a grade 10 going into like a school that is, quite a bit larger than like your junior high, it's not a well-known
putting
fact.
it
No
mildly.
one tells you that, right? These are just things you figure out on your own. But it's that shift in mindset as you go from like grade 10 to grade 12, and you just kind of notice all the things that the grade 10s are doing are the things that you did when you were in grade 10. It's just you weren't noticing it because no one was calling you out on it.
I mean,
No, we were
you'd
just
have
cooler
to be
than
kind
them.
of like, yeah, obviously, because grade 10s, oh my goodness.
Yeah, we were-
Well,
They just
now imagine that, except with grade 8s. So they're much younger, much more rowdy, loud, hitting their puberty. Their tiny tic tac tics go from mini cucumber to pickle Rick.
Okay,
You know what
okay.
I'm saying? It's like, it's
Okay,
insane.
bud.
That's why you have a
All right.
6'2" friend in junior high. Just stays
Exactly.
away over
6'2"
the
friend, 1260 pounds, 490 kilograms. It's incredible. And, when I first went into grade 8, and I kind of struggled with building friendships when I was younger.
Yeah.
Right? So
It's
yup,
like a
shut the
well-known. It's
fuck
a
up.
it's a
You
well-known
have
fact.
no friends,
because
Rizzy.
It's
Yeah,
a
of course.
well-known. It's a well-known fact. Like for kids that have like
Yeah.
overprotective parents, which are not to be not to involve stereotypes, but it's usually people of Asian descent that have overprotective parents.
Good thing
It's
I'm not
pretty
Asian.
well. You are, but we're not going to get into that.
You're
It's just
Indian, what do you
pretty well.
mean?
It's just pretty well known, right? That it's like
Yeah.
harder because I guess, quote unquote, lack of social skills. Even though, like, because I know plenty of people, like Rizzy nowadays, I like.
Still has no friends.
Okay, that's
True.
Yeah.
that's that's not what I was getting at. But like, it's very easy to become friends with a person like him because he has that level of like
Realness.
humor. It's
Oh.
well, yeah, it's the realness that's part of it, but like it's the sarcastic humor that gets me because I'm someone who likes sarcastic humor. So if you're someone who likes sarcastic humor, it's very easy to get along with Rizzy, and also he's just a good person in general, right?
He's a
Like,
simp.
We had a nice thing going. Abhi was, being nice to Rizwan. He was giving him compliments.
Which
I was like,
is-
simp.
which is rare. I'm never nice to
It is
him.
rare. It is
'cause
rare.
We
No,
have
I'm just balancing it out. I'm just balancing it out. All right?
because
Of
our
course.
friendship is just us insulting each other.
It
But
really
that's
is.
the best part about it.
But those are the best kinds of friendships, You
Exactly.
really kind of there's that certain level of point, where you're really so close with a friend that you're able to insult them and you don't get offended. Like Well, unfortunately, I do that with random strangers, and it doesn't turn out well.
Oh,
but,
no.
but I actually did that with a customer the other day, and she took it the wrong way, and I was like, "Oh God."
Uh-oh.
That's what we just
Rizzy's
don't talk
losing
to
his
people at school.
job. Rizzy's gonna lose
She
his
came
job.
up to me, and I was like, she came up to me, and she was like, "Hey, do you know where I can find the cucumbers?" And I was like, "Oh, the cucumbers, eh?"
Oh, no.
She raised hell on me. She was like, "I have a husband. I have 3 kids. All right, you're not gonna. Where's your manager? All right, you don't need cucumbers. I'm gonna get someone else." And she fucking stormed off, man. I was like,
Question
You
for
gotta
God,
the
you.
I
deli. The
did.
deli is the coolest place
Wait,
to
hold
be.
up. Was she white?
Well, of course.
Oh,
I
Makes
mean,
sense.
not to raise stereotypes or anything, but of course.
typical
Yeah.
Karen? Was she like a typical Karen?
Yes. She actually went to the spa the other day, and she was like, "Hi, can I get the Karen cut, please? Extra blonde and extra." Oh, sorry.
Oh, yikes! That's a yikes.
Might have to bring out the censor
Might
on
have to
that.
be.
You might have to. That's
Can
gonna
you
be
put like
just.
You don't like what you got to do is you got to take the black bar and just like put it on my mouth, but don't censor the audio. just put the black bar on my mouth.
What's the point of that?
That's the point.
That
That's
helps
way more
no
work.
one. That helps
No,
no
because if you
one.
can't see the mouth, you can't hear it.
Exactly. Or for all the deaf people out there, shout out to you guys who are listening in. Oh God.
Whew. Yeah, shout out to the deaf people.
Okay, we're wrapping it all the way back. Cael, how was your junior high experience? I think Rizzy said enough for this entire episode.
Actually, it was pretty fun because I sucked at writing. I was coded for it, so I got put in the strats class. Fun class. They put like a group of kids together, like through the 3 years, and just migrated. It was just the best. That's how I met Sterling and Justin, and we just cruised. We I think annoyed the librarian enough, and just we were in the library every lunch. It was fun. Fun times.
What do you mind me asking? Like, what exactly is a strats class? Is that kind of like
It's like
is that like a second
it's like
class
if
or
you're
something?
like
Or
coded for a learning disability. So if like you have dyslexia or something, and you're
Oh,
coded for
okay,
it, you
yeah.
get put in this
Okay,
class
gotcha.
for extra help. But it was like
Okay,
I
yeah.
didn't see the difference. The only difference was the teacher kept on going, you guys know how hard it is since you've been trying extra hard compared to all the other kids. So you'll be prepared for high school. That was the only
Oh my
difference.
god, bro, that reminds me. So you know how like if English isn't like your first language, you get like accommodations for like exams?
Oh, fun
Yeah.
fact.
Oh,
You know
continue.
Sterling?
Yeah.
Instead of taking French, in grade 9, he took English. Like English as like ELL class. He took ELL instead of French.
The mad lad.
How do you do
I'd
that?
like to take English as a second language, please. Thank you.
Oh, we
What's your
we
first
don't-
language? English.
We had people.
And they
Oh, yeah.
didn't question it?
No, like literally like 5 people took it that like spoke English, and they just didn't care. They're like, yeah, it was the best class ever. We just watched movies.
Yeah, so that reminds me. So this was during like exam week for like grade 7. And so the teacher called me and like a couple people out, and she was explaining that oh yeah, so seeing as like English isn't like your first language, like you all get like accommodations, and so like you all get like an hour extra on exams. And I'm standing there thinking, what is going on? Because I've never said that English is my second language, right? So it
Oh,
So
turns
they
out,
racially profiled you?
I mean, I don't want to say that, but it turns out because my because so you know how when you like transfer countries, you transfer schools, like the school you go to has a record of what school you went to before.
Mhm.
Because the school I went to before was in a country that wasn't a native English speaking country, like English wasn't the main language
Oh,
there.
it's not
They
even that.
just said that, oh yeah, English isn't his second language, so they just put me in the accommodations
You just
without letting
assumed.
anyone know.
You
And
were probably
this
god tier in that.
no, I know because I declined it. I'm like, I don't need this.
Oh, you declined it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would've been
I
easy
declined it.
mark.
I'm like, I don't need this. Like it doesn't
marks,
seem
yeah.
fair to me. It doesn't seem fair to me, right? That English is my first language and they're saying English is your second language. I'm like, well, you're wrong. Well, yes, but actually no. So
Uh-huh.
I basically said no, and they're like, okay, we'll take you off the list. they didn't take me off the list because grade 10 I got called down to the ELL thing, and I'm like, what
The
is going
ELL
on?
class?
Yeah, so you know
Not
how
Mr. Cannon?
Woodruff was in charge of the ELL
No,
stuff?
I don't know who that teacher is.
Oh, Miss Woodruff? You've never heard of Miss Woodruff?
I've heard the name, never spoken.
Oh, okay. Well, she was in charge of the ELL thing, and so I went to the ELL thing, and they were like, "What are you here for?" I'm like, "I got called down, but I don't need this. Like, I was supposed to be taken off the list." And I'm like, "Okay, go talk to Miss Woodruff, and she'll take you off the list." So I did that. She took me off the list. I thought everything was good. Fast forward to grade 11. I'm in social class, and they're like, and my social teacher's like, "Hey, you need to go down to the scholar room because of this ELL thing." I'm like, "This is literally what I just explained to them last year," and they're like, "Yeah, you still need to do this." I'm like, "Well, I don't." And they forced me
Let's go to Rachel.
a session of it, and they're like, it was like this one thing they put out like a picture of, it was like, you know how you sometimes like analyze pictures in English?
Mm-hmm.
It was like a B-Tech.
Unfortunately.
It was a B-Tech version of that. It was like this very simple picture, and they're like, analyze this. Like, what do you see about this? And like all this. And I'm
Oh.
like, I don't need to be here, but they were forcing me to do it. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll do it. And then like they were like, oh yeah, we're very impressed with how you're developing. I'm like, oh, for what reason?
How you're developing?
I don't need to be here. So I went and talked to the office, and they're like, okay, have your parents call in. So I had my mom call in, and she called in, and she was like, yeah, this like doesn't need to happen. And they were like, okay, we'll get this sorted out. And then like grade 12, they called me down again because the list apparently hadn't been updated, and I just refused to show up. I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm not doing
Imagine
this. And
doing
so
diplomas in grade 12.
and so the person in charge, it wasn't Wood or whoever was running the session, was like, "Why weren't you there?" I'm like, "I don't need to be here. I've said to the office
No, I just skipped
multiple
class.
times."
Just don't care.
True. Yeah, I was like, I've said to the office multiple times I don't need to be here. It's not something I require, and therefore I'm not going to show up. And they're like, okay, understandable, and they just left me alone.
Understandable. Have a great day.
My dad like transferred to the States for school, I think. Or he did something weird with school, and he had to take an ELL class. Like he transferred from Canada to the States, and he had to take a class that was like, the boy jumped over the fence. What did the boy do? And that was like the test he had to do.
Now,
Blows my mind.
the Wyoming English is very different from Canadian English.
Yeah, U.S.
So,
English is way
you're definitely-
different than Canadian.
You're definitely
Well,
gonna
yeah,
need like,
you're
I'm walking here, eh?
you're-
I'm
you're-
walking here.
you're
Yeah,
in the-
Walking here.
Yeah, there you go.
You're in the United
Fucking need
States. You're in the United States. You got to speak American. You feel me? Like, come on,
Yeah.
speak
Sorry,
That's
American.
if I
American.
speak the words that they say, I'll get in trouble.
Okay, y'all.
Hi, can I get a Big Mac?
Oh, okay, yeah. So
Supersize that.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
God, Ronnie!
junior high was just
Okay.
like
Oh my
What's your
gosh, I love you
names?
so
Interesting.
much.
Junior
Yeah,
high was just
baby.
interesting. Cael, you said junior high was pretty standard, you would say, in terms of a
was fun.
normal junior high. Fun, yeah. It was the exact opposite for me, if I'm being honest. I can agree with you, Rizzy. It was pretty trash.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into the details because that involves the
Yeah.
whole backstory.
All I'm saying, it helps that I was put in strats class because me and Sterling and Justin, we were just in every. I think we were in like every class together, other than
you were
options.
just vibing. You were just
Yeah,
vibing.
we were just vibing.
Yeah. Junior high was just not a vibe.
Oh, a fun side story. So you know, like the math test, Atlantic Pacific math test, where like they make you do more math tests.
Yeah.
Not more higher level math tests, like high school math.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Sterling got put into that because he, for some strange reason, he would ask for more work after he was done math, and we'd like be done at the exact same time. I'm like, why are you doing this? And so he got put
seems like
into
that type
it,
of guy.
and it was funny because we were just finished at the exact same time, but I wouldn't speak up because I was like, I don't want to do more work. Thanks. It's just he got into the class, not the class, the test, which I heard was
Well,
dumb.
he was strengthening his brain for football, right? It's just it makes sense.
That's how that works.
Bigger
That's
brains,
definitely how
longer
that
skull.
works.
Yeah, when you're tackling, right, your head's gonna go right into their groin, so you have to have a thick brain to be able to absorb that impact, you know? And like, you don't want to be feeling that across your head, so having a thicker brain will allow it to kind of like protect you from that. So it makes sense why he would do that.
Yes.
I'm a neuroscience, ladies and gentlemen. I am gonna drop out soon though. So thank you very
Honestly-
much. Have a good night.
Honestly, not surprising. But moving on. Akira, how was junior high for you?
So I went to 3 different junior highs.
For each grade?
No, I was.
Yeah, she was expelled for dealing drugs.
No.
Bruh,
it's
come on.
beanie, man. Look at that.
If anything, that's the type of thing Rizzy would do. No offense, but
Mhm.
Y'all
Yeah.
want to buy some Sprint?
Yeah, no. So I went to the same junior high for grades 7 and 8, and that was here in Edmonton. And then for like 2-3 months, I was in BC. But then I came back. But they wouldn't let me back in the junior high I was at before because I was out of the district by like a street. So I went to a different junior high. But that was fine because I met my best friend there. So it was
Rizwan?
fun. No.
you met Rizwan there.
No.
I'm not her best friend. She was my childhood bully. I was scared of her when we first met.
Yeah, that's called
I'm
friendship.
still scared of her to this day. You actually don't know this, but she's in my house right now. She's holding me at gunpoint. That's a recorded message of her. Yeah. The gun's over there. If I say anything, she's gonna pull the trigger. And oh my god!
Yeah.
Sorry, I dodged a bullet because I'm that slow. But anyways, Akira, you were saying about junior high.
Yeah. But
So you took that 2 to 3 months. Was that like a vacation, or did you
No,
fully
it
go
was-
to school there?
no, I fully went to school, and it was the opposite of vacation. I hated it. I met some pretty good friends there. I didn't keep in contact with them when I moved because I just couldn't be asked.
That's a mood.
So I went to, where did I go? For 7 and 8 I went to Allendale.
Hey.
Ew.
Then I went to BC, and then when I came back I went to McKernan,
Oh man.
Okay.
which was interesting in itself because I don't know, all the other 2 junior highs that I went to, it was really like, you know how kind of junior high you have your 2 things, you have the ones who are still children and the ones who are like teenagers now.
Nope.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, like you got
I
your
was
still.
always a
I feel like I'm attacked. I feel like I'm being attacked here.
was always a child.
What's going on?
No, but you know what I mean. Like you either have your
Yeah, I know.
at a junior high, it's either everyone is still pretty childish or everyone is like, you're like, calm down. You're 12, not 20.
Yeah, that's true. That
But
is
I don't
true.
know, McKernan.
Yeah.
Everyone, like a lot of the people there were like pretty acting pretty mature for their ages.
What do you mean mature? Like in a good way or bad way?
As
Sounds like
mature as
No
mature
comment.
as a 13, 14-year-old can get.
Is it the kids?
oh,
that
y'all
think
want to see my
are-
vape trick?
God, that's the one thing I don't miss about junior high. I mean, I don't.
Was vaping
I
a thing
don't
in junior
miss
high?
A lot. Yeah. Or at least it
Yes.
wasn't mine. It
At the
wasn't mine.
later stages, right? Around the end for me, I think grade 9 and 10. That's when I kind of like it peaked.
Yeah,
I
high
used
school.
to
High
eat
school. I saw it. I
McDonald's,
didn't see it in junior high.
and yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah,
Um,
it was a pretty, I don't want to say major, but it was definitely a like pretty big
Shift.
occurrence at my junior high, because you know how Skona has this reputation of being like a rich white kid junior high, rich white kid high
Rich,
school.
rich,
type of-
rich
No.
white kid, athletic. Yeah,
Yeah,
academic.
it has that
high
kind of
school?
it,
Are you
it has that
serious?
kind of reputation. It has
I-
that kind of reputation. Come
I
on,
find
agree
there's
on it.
diversity at Skona. It's truly
So
Yeah, so we're not even gonna lie.
yeah, it definitely has that reputation. Like, it's not like a joke or anything. That's just how it's viewed. I
Yeah.
feel like my junior high was kind of the junior high version of that, purely because of its location. Because Riverbend is just known for like the rich people, I guess. For the south side of Edmonton, it's just known as like a rich kind of community. So it was also because of that there was just a lot of stuff you could get away with just purely based on reputation, which is, one, not good, but two, it's just kind of the stuff you had to deal with. But hey, it's in the past. I don't care. Yeah. Junior high was just not fun, so
That's
I don't.
true.
I don't.
Was it
wasn't
like
fun.
the OSA of junior high?
What?
Is it like the OSA of junior high?
Riverbend?
Mhm.
I don't want to. I mean, not really, but kinda. I mean, it had its like smart people, but Riverbend was also more of like an athletic school than it was a like academic school.
For those of you who don't know, OSA stands for October Sunscreen Application. Now with Flint and Steel, it's
Yep.
what
And
do they
vape
call it?
trips.
It's an arsonist school. Arsonist school, yes.
Oh my god.
Um,
Rizwan.
I kind of so Akira, I
Stop
actually
That's your
kind of
cue to
wanted to
stop talking.
Akira, I kind of wanted to cycle it back
Yeah.
real quick. So
Yeah.
now for kind of the three of us, we've kind of been in junior high, like in one junior high for the majority of those time at that time period.
Mhm.
You've been in three during those 3 years.
Yeah.
So were you able to kind of like feel a connection when you were at a junior high, or were you kind of just like expecting yourself to kind of just like move away and never really establish that you were like, hey, I've got a good set of friends here, or something like that. You know what I mean? You felt truly at
Yeah.
home.
Well, I guess because elementary, I went to 5 different ones and I switched 7 times. So I was kind of a little bit used to switching schools.
Mhm.
But I guess because I had been at the one elementary for like 2 years, like almost 2 years, which was pretty good. And I had been at the Allendale for 7 and 8 completely. It was kind of hard because it was the kind of the longest I'd been at one school or in one place. So I had made like pretty strong connections. I had friends I like people I was really good friends with. And I had no expectation, like I wasn't expecting to move because there wasn't really any plans of that for that whole time. I already knew I wanted to go to Skona. I had known that since I was in elementary school that I wanted to go to Skona when it came to high school. And I was like, okay, Allendale. Boom, boom. I got 1 more year. And then I got told we were moving.
Yeah, that's a big yikes.
I guess it was in the same area that I'd been in BC the last 2 times I was in BC. But it's still, I already had hatred for that place because I didn't like it.
Was it a small town?
Yeah. It's Fort St.
Small
John.
town BC is wild.
Small town.
It's actually Vancouver.
Small town northern
Very
BC.
It's like
Oh,
wild.
So I didn't
First,
even get the niceness of the South.
the South. How south are we talking about? Are you talking about me and Abby getting shot kind of south? Or are we talking like,
Vancouver?
like us being able to assimilate south? Like, which
Oh.
south are we talking about here?
Bro, that came out of nowhere. I was not expecting that.
You're gonna get shot.
racism.
It sounds like Eddie Murphy from Shrek when I laugh.
Is that a bad thing?
Okay. Like I was saying,
Yeah.
it was I don't know, I have a pretty decent, like pretty easy time making friends. So
Yeah.
it wasn't hard. And obviously I had because it was junior high and I was like, I literally have 1 more year to go. Why do we have to move now? Oh, it's gonna be so hard to make friends. I'm not gonna make any friends. And then I had a big group of friends. I was pretty popular, you know how it is.
Oh, of course, big flex. You must have a big penis right now. Must be
do.
hugely erect. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then
Speaking of friendship, sometimes it's like comments like these that make me question why I'm friends with Rizzy. Like
honestly,
Honestly,
it makes
I'm
me
actually
wonder
getting
why I don't
like
bully
I'm
him.
paying them to be my friends.
I wonder why I don't bully him more.
I'm not getting any paychecks, sir. Where are my payments?
Are
I've
they
been your
getting lost
friend
in the
for
mail
3 years.
or
Where are
what?
my payments?
I thought they were coming through Twitch Prime, which you could go check in the link in the description.
No, he's
That's
paying you an
true.
exposure. He's paying you an exposure. What do you mean?
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that
Sure.
one. That one was pretty good. For me, the big issue with like the transition from junior high to high school was that the high school that I knew that most people were going to wasn't the high school that I was going to, because my brother and I went to the same high school. Obviously he's 5 years older than me, so he had already graduated. He was already in uni by the time I had entered high school. So I had basically decided that that was going to be my high school purely just based off of his experience. So That was kind of the major issue is because all of the people I was like really close friends with was going to where they were going to Lillian and they weren't going to Skona.
Oh,
So purely based off of like district wise, right? Because like most of the people who went to Riverbend are in the district for Lillian, but not all of them are in the district for Skona. Because like where I stay, I had both options. I had the option to go to Lillian or to Skona based on the district. Obviously, I chose Skona over Lillian, like I said, because my brother had already been there. But that was the biggest issue for me, was because the people I was close with were going to Lillian. So entering high school, making friends was definitely going to be a bigger issue than I thought it would be. So I mean, the first couple months were kind of rough, just because like that's just how it is, right? Like when you enter a new school, especially high school, and you don't really know a lot of people, it's just always going to be like that. But hey, it turned out just fine.
Yeah.
And Gilo changed your life. The amount of people I met there is 0. I have never met anybody there
Yeah,
at all.
that is true.
Same.
I mean,
Same.
I actually
it
never see
didn't-
them again. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Oh,
It didn't really help make any friends, but it was like a cool thing to.
You
It
just
was
kind of stare at them in the hallway, and they stare at you back
Yeah.
awkwardly, and you're like,
It's
yeah,
like that.
I was
It's like
your
it's
spirit
just that
leader.
like it's that moment of like, I know you,
But we're
and
not
we
gonna
were
engage.
yeah, and we're not gonna engage, not because I
Literally.
don't like you, but because it's just weird.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't
Like I know
understand it.
who you-
I'm I'm at school, right? And they're running, and I'm just chasing them, and I'm confused. Like, why would you talk to me? I'm just trying to chase you
The
down.
PTSD.
And-
The PTSD.
Like, I'm confused. I'm sprinting down the hall. I'm trying to grab his legs, take him down. Go for the low tackle, but he's not going down. So it's kind of
Are
interesting.
you tackling
right?
Joe Johnson?
Sir,
That might be why.
sir, that's assault. That is not
It's-
making friends.
It's
That's called
particularly
assault.
It's that subtle kind of friendship that we've
It's-
developed through Gilo. It's,
It's
truly
not.
an inspiring event. And I can't keep this going.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna die off.
No, literally.
But that kind of brings us into how we came to meet each other. Now, I'm sure some of you guys probably met earlier because I kind of came in grade 11.
Yeah.
But we all kind of accumulated in grade 11. So I'm kind of going to ask you guys, what was your guys' year, grade 10, Strathcona High School, which was the high school we all went to, and kind of describe your first thoughts of being in high school. So let's start with Cael on this one.
Oh, kind of add on to like Abby's kind of thing.
Mhm.
So my dump school was Ainley. So I was in elementary school and then dumped into my junior high. So I knew like over half the kids in junior high, and then I just got into Skona because my brother got in through lottery.
Oh,
So there was like only like a couple people I knew that went to Skona. It was me, Justin, and Sterling who went to Skona, but other than that, there was like maybe like 3 or 4 people from my junior high that went there.
and how did it feel going from did it feel big? Like you made a big step in
No,
life?
it was a
9 to
big
10?
school. So I've been to other high schools in Edmonton. Like I thought Skona was like on the bigger end. No, the other high schools are pretty big as well in
Yeah.
Edmonton.
Wow.
Wasn't there,
Huge.
what was the one that they were planning to build another story? It was going to be like 3 stories. Didn't they
Park
have, like,
Allen,
is it
because
Elam?
I took all the kids to the basement.
Oh my god.
They wanted that floor for me.
Isn't it the kind of like the fancier school?
Yeah, it
Like
was like
the-
it was something like that.
Is it
I
Shep?
don't remember.
Osa?
It might
I
have
thought
been.
it was
Shep.
JP.
No, yeah, maybe
No.
JP.
Oh, it was. I think it was either Shep or JP, but one of the two. They were basically just saying, "Yeah, we're just gonna build a 3rd floor." But yeah, I don't know. That just kind of you mentioned like big schools, just kind of reminded me of that.
Now, you think about like all these big schools, right? And it's kind of hard to really meet new people because it's such a big school, right? It's such a big jump, but there's so many more new people to meet. And that's kind of where it ties into how we kind of met. Now, for me, I came to Strathcona High School in grade 11. And we didn't fully meet, all of us, become close friends until grade 12. But grade 11, we were kind of like you had the small bits and pieces of a friendship forming between the individuals of us, and being able to meet each other one on one, seeing how we are having similar classes. It was really cool to be able to meet all these people. So we're gonna kind of start about our origin story. So let's do this one last time. Cael, how did you meet all three of us?
First off, I had super healing, and then a guy captured me and put adamantium into my skeletal structure, and so
Yes.
I was just super strong, and it
Okay.
just attracted all of you guys.
Oh, of
It
course.
didn't,
You were attracted to us.
yeah, attracted. It definitely
course.
wasn't Catherine and Sterling meeting each other and then expanding the network of friends I have. Not at all. It's my attractiveness from the adamantium in my skeleton structure.
Yeah, I
Because
can
I have
say
super
it.
healing.
Yeah, I think the guy that gave you that was a fraud. Don't think it's Birkin, buddy.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm fairly sure.
Didn't
I mean,
hurt.
considering I'm not attracted to you right now, I can say that it was a fraud.
It only works in person. It only works in person.
Oh god,
I
mean,
massage your ass anytime.
It's like this
okay, dude.
aura I have around me.
Okay, dude. Moving on. Akira, how did you? I feel like we kind of, we didn't really know each other in grade 10 because I think it was social. I had social with Catherine.
Mhm.
And I think that's how we met. That was, or at least that was partially how we met. But I feel like we weren't really friends. We just kind of knew that the other person existed. We didn't really
Yeah.
talk.
Well, yeah, because since Catherine, she's been my best friend since grade 9, and she knew
Catherine.
exactly.
Shout out to Catherine.
Big
Right?
shout out.
And because then Catherine became friends with, or like at least started talking with you, Abby, because of your class.
Yeah.
And then I think that's kind of how I knew who you were, but I didn't like know you. And also the fact that like sometimes at lunch we would sit in the same group,
Yep.
in the same hall, at the same area of
I'm pretty sure I
lockers.
would wander past
But
you guys
I
and
don't
think
think we ever.
No,
if
we never
ever
spoke a word.
Yeah, if we ever
No, I
talked in
think-
grade 10, it was just like a random conversation that was going on, and we were just kind of like
Literally.
talking about the conversation. It was never like a one-on-one kind of thing. It was just like
Mhm.
whatever the group's talking about, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think I would join in and then just make fun of you or somebody else in the friend group and then just walk away if I see
And then
Sterling.
dip. Yeah, he would just dip.
Yeah.
It wasn't
times.
until grade 11 that I feel like both Cael and Akira, I think I started talking to them a bit more in grade 11. That's
Yeah.
also when I met Rizzy, because I met Rizzy through leadership.
That's a whole other story, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a whole Jesus. We're gonna
Yeah.
talk about that
Amen,
later. but
hallelujah, Lord and Savior. Don't take the
Also
Lord's name in vain.
Also, Rizzy's eating chicken right now, so just ignore that.
Let me eat my biryani, man.
Why does it look like it's fish bones, not chicken bones?
Because it's
Um,
chicken.
Sorry,
Chicken
did you lose a
biryani.
femur, Abby? I was just fell into my plate. I don't know. Oh shit.
On your
Yeah,
pants.
so I met Rizzy in grade 11 through leadership, and we hit it off really well. Because I think I mentioned it earlier in the podcast, is that we both share the same like sarcastic kind of humor, which helped quite a bit in how our friendship blossomed.
Oh, and I'd beat you at spike ball every time, every single time.
That was incorrect.
All
Incorrect.
dubs,
But
0 losses.
incorrect. And then I think, Cael, were you in my late 25 class?
Maybe.
I don't remember. But I know I started talking to Cael a lot more because I had grown
Maybe somebody
closer
else in
with.
the class. Was Matt Davies in the class?
I don't remember. I don't remember much about. Were you in class with Ella, St. Martin, Eliza, Katie, them? Do you remember if they were in?
Possibly.
If you weren't, you were
okay.
lucky.
Reed
I
was Reed in the
fucking-
class. Reed was Reed in the class.
Hot take.
Reed.
I don't remember. Hot take, but we're not going to get into that. So yeah, I think I grew closer with Cael just purely based on the fact that I was better friends with the entire friend group.
Yeah, and I'd destroy you at spike ball.
Again,
I
incorrect, but
think.
later. I still don't think Akira and I were that great friends until or we weren't that great friends in grade 11. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I think grade 11 is when we started actually talking.
Yeah.
Because you and Catherine became better friends and whatnot. And then if I was ever with Catherine and we were in the hall and, Catherine would stop to talk with you. Since I was with Catherine, who's my best friend, she brings out my like the extrovertedness in me.
The crackhead version.
Yeah, basically. So I would talk a lot. I'd make like more jokes than I would if it was just me on my own. So we kind of started
Yeah.
talking more.
Just
What?
Sorry, I think I missed it. You said Catherine was your best friend, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah,
you
so
think she had no friends?
What?
Wait, you're making the joke that implies that she has no friends.
Damn, Rizzy,
I will
that's a
let you
low
know
blow.
I have
That's a
lots
low
of friends.
blow.
I have plenty of friends. Thank you.
I wasn't
Also,
buying that, but okay.
This is way off topic, but I just clocked this. Why is there a Cheetos bag on your bed, Akira? I just clocked this.
Well, can't you
You
tell?
just go to bed.
It's because okay. So you can see the cow, right?
Yeah.
If you
Yes.
look over here, I don't know if you can see it, but I have a Paw Patrol thing, right? And I have J Schlatt.
Sure.
I have J Schlatt.
Yes. How are those things related?
Because the Cheetos are there because they're having they're hanging out.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry, that was way off topic, but I just noticed that. I felt like
Jansen's gonna look at that, and she's gonna make you write an entire essay on how those correlate and what it says about society.
Right.
And she's gonna turn on
as
the
you can see,
insight button.
let me tell you how they're related. Okay.
Of course.
Animal.
Yeah. Yep.
Animal. Now you're thinking, how does J Schlatt correlate to that? Well,
Oh no, I know where this
Here
is
we go,
going.
Well,
I know.
J
Don't
Schlatt,
even go there.
if you
Just
know,
don't go there.
is a
No, like-
what's his YouTube thing? A ram
A dictator.
Ram, okay. Of
and a dictator, but that's a different story.
course.
Okay.
Animal. That made no sense, but just go
Yeah.
with it.
Going back, Rizzy, what was your point of view of meeting everyone in grade 11? Because we didn't really talk about that.
Wow, it was inspiring. It was truly a blissful feeling.
Lies.
But that was before I met you guys. When I met you guys, I had hit rock bottom. I felt extremely depressed, and
That's when you started doing the crack and the heroin.
Yes, I started taking Tylenol very severely, and I started
Ibuprofen,
taking
ooh.
calculators, and I would constantly type on graphing calculators. It was an addiction. It was a hard addiction to really overcome until I got introduced to masturbation, and it was
Thank you. I was about to do that.
Just thanks.
God,
I forgot what we were
the
talking
timing
about.
on those. The timing on those.
I forgot where we
it's
were.
impeccable.
You're
Yeah,
talking
Rizzy
about
was.
the origin story.
Yeah, Rizzy was
us.
supposed to be explaining how he met us, and then he went on a whole tangent. But if
And
you
about
want to,
doing heroin and hitting rock bottom.
if you wish to continue that tangent, or not, don't continue that tangent, please.
Not that tangent, but
if you wish to continue how you were, how you met all of us, then yeah, please continue.
Ooh, sure, buddy. Want to buy some milk? Sorry, that's we're imitating a friend there, if you know what I mean. You guys know about him, Josiah. Shout out to Josiah if you're listening. But anyways,
he wasn't in my math class. I wouldn't know.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. Anyways, so how I met you guys, I came into grade 11 when I moved from Whitehorse to Edmonton in the year of 2018, the summer. And I came in and I was like, all right, grade 11 and 12, pretty important years of my life because grades really matter. But I don't want to be alone because I hate being alone. So what I did is I turned my extroversion to 11. Like it was at like a 5 or a 6. I was like, okay, pretty subtle. I turned it up to 11, and I would say hi to a lot of people.
You're being an extrovert.
Yeah, it's a curse and a curse at the same time. So the first day
was it like Oliver Moore levels?
Oliver Moore, he is okay. First of all, that man, I love that man from the moon and back. I would die for him. I would even stroke his die for him. Literally ride or die. Specifically the ride. Oliver, if you're listening, you already know. Hit me up. But basically,
the same type of humor you do.
Yeah, it's
If you don't know, Oliver is sarcastic, it gets awkward fast.
Yeah,
It does.
if you-
really does.
that's the thing, right? It's why also Rizzy and Oliver get along really well. It goes back to the sarcastic humor. Because if you don't get the humor, you're just standing there awkwardly, like, what is going on?
Which
Yeah, it's-
brings me to my next point is how I met you guys. Now I came in, turned up the extroversion, leadership 25. That is a class, basically, it's a pretty fun class. And it was hard to kind of like, it was weird how they taught the valuable lessons in life because it was more so just like having fun with a bunch of people that you didn't really know. Now, being the new guy, I came in on the third day, and the game we were playing, we were sitting on each other's laps. I'm like, bro, the fuck is going on, man? Something ain't right. Either I'm on heroin or we're all doing heroin together. Now, I'm like, come in.
Consti with the supply.
Consti's coming in with the baggie and everything. Check out our last episode if you guys want more information on that. Now, I'm coming in on that first day, and I meet a couple of old friends from Park Allen, my elementary school, and Mount Pleasant as well. I'm like, hey guys, how's it going? And I go through the League 20, and I meet Abhi. We hit it off, like you said, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because I love Abhi. He's a pretty genuine, good person, and he's got that similar kind of sarcasm that I do. And he's a hardworking guy, which I really admire in people. You don't find hardworking people these days, and Abhi really shows that kind of hardworking mentality that really inspires me to put in the work every time I'm doing assignments, doing anything. It's always good to kind of have that stuff, and I like to have a good support system around me, have good friends around me. Abhi and I hit it off, and Cael. I remember my first ever class at Strathcona High School was gym. And the funny thing is, you thought I was a grade 10. You and Sterling. Yeah, you and Sterling thought I was a grade 10 because we were playing dodgeball with grade 11s on one side and grade 10s on the other. And then
we
you and
always
Sterling were like,
11s.
get to the other side, you grade 10. And I was like, haha, that's funny. Oh,
I forgot.
they're not
That was the worst year of gym because we had like 2 months of basketball.
Yep, and it was the best year of my life.
It was the worst. I cannot play basketball.
I also kind of want to point out, there's a reason that Rizzy and I hit it off really well. It's because so he has this way of I like to call it brown humor because that's what it is. That's what it is.
Sure.
And
Why bring
it's
color into
because
this, huh?
Cael, shut up. You're white as hell.
And more colors.
But
we're gonna paint a canvas with this language, all right?
But yeah, it's just like his way of like, he has this way of just interacting with people who are like similar to him, and it's so funny. It is so funny. But it's this like, I guess, recognition that we're both kind of from the same place, and so we just kind of became friends. And it's funny because
Simp fast. This is really a simp fast.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by brown humor, is that kind of thing. Because it's funny as hell, especially to me because I can relate to that. But yeah, that's one thing that that kind of brought us both together, is that feeling. Also, he lied to me about being Indian, but I already talked about.
I did.
That, so
yeah. Make sure to check out that episode.
I forget what it is.
My
Go back.
class was one.
Go back, watch all of them, figure out what it was. I forget which one it was, but it was it was pretty
Yeah.
good.
So I met Abhi through lead. I met Cael through gym class, and we kind of subtly hit it off, and then we started going closer when we were in the same lead class, right?
Yeah, it was my aura of attraction.
Yeah, and then the lead retreat and that, and me and Akuriea, right? I've mentioned it before. We've had kind of a rough past. Her being a bully to me, and she truly traumatized.
What is this, part 7 at this point? It's like part 7 of this episode itself.
We need counters for Twitch Prime and how many times we've mentioned Akuriea bullied or Rizwan.
Yeah, we really do need counters for that.
You know, we're gonna start keeping track.
We should.
I mean, we have to understand the traumatizing experience it was. for a brown boy like me in a white privileged school full of white
Canadians.
kids. Yes, Canadian Europeans. And so I okay, all right, I'm bullshitting. I met Akira a while back in Park Allen around grades 1 to 3. We were pretty solidly friends there. That was a kind of a weird thing we had going on, but that's a story for another day. You'll know.
What?
Okay,
when
I'm sorry.
when I say
I'm
weird
sorry
thing,
to butt in. I'm sorry to butt in, but I did not like the way you phrased that.
yeah,
Yeah, I was
I
like,
realized.
I know
like
it
you're-
sounds, it sounds so sus.
Like that was
It
on
is-
the
It
level.
sounds so sus.
It was on the level of how I say some things, and that was
Yeah, that was okay. I'd like to rephrase that, ladies and gentlemen. This is a rephrase. Curtains closed. Okay. Now, me and Akira back in the day, I was a really sus person. Akira was one of the closer friends I had back in the day, and I appreciated her. But after she left, I kind of didn't really remember her, right? Because okay, I love you, man. But grade 1 and 2,
Calling her forgettable friend.
but like, okay, no. I remembered her and another best friend of mine through elementary because those yeah.
Peace.
See you later. She gone.
Oh,
No.
Now that the whammy is gone, let's talk about men's stuff.
oh my
Hi.
god. Yeah, but
came
oh yeah,
back
sorry, continue.
to Skona, and I saw Akira in the hallway, but I didn't know it was fully her. Like, I recognized her because I recognized a bunch of Park Allen kids, and I recognized you, Akira. But I didn't, like, in grade 11, I saw you a couple times in the hallway, and I wanted to say hi because I was like, do I know this person? I feel like I've seen her before, but I didn't want to do it because if I didn't know you, if we didn't recognize each other, it'd be really awkward, right? And so I didn't do it until Bikeathon, when you were a volunteer and you came up to our group on the stage and you were chilling with us. I was like, oh shoot, yo, Akira, do you remember me? And she was
I
like,
know,
hey, and then we forgot about each other.
literally because you were just chilling there, and I was standing up, and you were like, "Hey, it's me, Rizwan from Park Allen. Remember? Ahaha!" And I was just standing there like, "Yeah, buddy. Hey, what's good?"
Yeah,
and then I walked
stepped
away.
into a square meant for 10 people, and there was like 20 people in it.
That's funny.
No, but then
But like,
that was it.
yeah,
And then we didn't talk for the
basically.
rest of the year
Yep,
at all.
never saw each other.
Like I think
Then
I don't even think we saw each other in the hallway after that.
no, not at all.
you were purposefully
Did IRL.
Yeah, IRL. And grade 12 hit. We met in leadership class, which is kind of how we're all kind of connected.
yeah.
It's going to be a long story for another podcast, is the leadership class. But it's
Yeah.
kind of how we all came together and how we're
Yeah.
all kind of connected specifically.
Grade
But
12
I
was
met
the year. Grade 12
Yeah.
was the year that we all just
It-
kind of
Mhm.
It was the
became
year,
closer.
and then it was the year, if you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
It is a good way to say that. Grade 12 honestly is like when the four of us really
Yeah.
like we all became friends. Cuz we at least knew of each other in grade 11
And talked
Right.
to each other, which was
Yeah.
weird.
and kind of talked
To
to
a
each other
certain
in grade
extent.
11.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Like I'd say with all of you, I think with Cael I was a little more friends with just because we were in like the same main
Yeah.
friend group. But
Mhm.
even then, I didn't talk
Yes.
to him that much unless we were in that group. But then grade 12, it
Yeah.
was like really, that's when, I would have conversations with Abhi, I'd have conversations with
Mhm.
Cael, with Rizwan, and it would just be like just us, like not because of we're around our other friends.
Mhm.
Kind of
I would
thing.
say I was probably better friends with Rizwan than both of you going into grade 12 purely because we had
What
League
about
25.
that experience we gained at you losing to me in spike ball?
Yeah. Like, I was the ball. Do you not remember?
You were the
slapping me?
ball. You were the
Yeah,
ball.
Mhm.
Yeah. You like slapped my ass like several times. I enjoyed it, but like you continue to do it. It
I don't
was
think you're thinking of a different time, bud. That wasn't in class.
a different time. Oh, you agree?
Oh, it was off school premises.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do it in school. You feel me?
Constant with the
Um,
supervision.
That's
Anyways,
what stopped some people.
but yeah, so grade 12 was kind of the year that we all kind of met, and then obviously that got cut off due to Corona. So we kind of I don't want to say we
Can't
parted
say
ways,
that.
but
Can't say that.
Oh, well,
Get
too late. I already did.
demonetized.
I don't want to say we parted ways. We just kind of didn't talk to each other for a while, purely because the IRL connection just wasn't there. But yeah, we're still great friends.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was Great Tale was the year that brought us all together. That was definitely it.
Actually, to be honest, I never liked you guys. All right, see you later.
He's dead. He just died. Rizzy?
I don't know what's going on.
He's dead. Okay.
You like
I
sent me
think
to the
that's,
gulag and it broke me.
yeah, I sent you to the gulag, and then I brought you back, and you just died.
It like froze my computer.
Yeah, bro.
Okay. I think that's gonna end us for tonight. I think we've covered everything that we wanted to cover.
Mhm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I could very well be wrong, but if I'm not,
We wanted to have a not an exorcism of Rizwan's heroin addiction.
You mean Tylenol? Come on, man.
Okay. Yeah. So, that's gonna wrap it us. Holy crap! I cannot speak. That's gonna wrap it up from us tonight. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
My mouth makes a
Um,
triangle when I smile like this. Look. See? It's a triangle.
Put that on TikTok. Put that on TikTok. Might be a new trend.
Okay. Yeah. Do you guys have anything else to say? Anything to add on? Any closing remarks?
I would just like to. Akira, if you'd like to
No.
go right ahead.
No.
No? That's too bad. I'm putting you on the spot.
No, I have something to say. I am now 18, so I can sign my own field trip forms.
Yes! Woo! Everyone wish happy birthday to Cael in the comments. Make sure
It's a bit
to
late,
like,
so don't.
comment, subscribe, and have a good evening, you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Watch.
I am Lightyear. I come in peace.
And that Buzz Lightyear will make a
That.
cameo appearance on the next episode.
Yeah, just one last thing. So I know our schedule has kind of been whack recently, but
Mildly.
our planned out schedule right now is that we record Friday nights, and because everyone's busy, we're aiming for uploading. So this week's episode, we're recording it on a Friday night. We're aiming to upload this by next Thursday, next Friday-ish. So it takes about a week per upload. That might change, that might shorten depending on what the episode is, however many cuts we have to make. But yeah, I thought I'd on and off recently, so yeah. But I think that's gonna end it there. Yeah, so stay safe, take care, and we'll see you next week.
Don't party. Stay inside.
Yeah, wear a mask.
Do Zoom like us. Wear a mask, because Corona. Lower the bell
Be
curve.
Zoomers, not boomers.
No, don't be Zoomers.
No.
Both are bad options. Just don't be any of them.
Just
Don't be any of them.
just
leave.
Just have common sense. Wear a mask, stay safe. Don't go outside unless you need to. But
Yep.
yeah, take care. We'll see you next week.
Have a good night.